Right, this will show you how you can create a simple collector type game in Kodu. Remember, when you're in Kodu, you're going to have to search for it on your computer with that blue window at the bottom. You're going to type in KO is probably enough to find Kodu Game Lab. It'll take a second or two to open up. If it does show you that video when it's opening up, you can escape out of that by pressing the escape key, the top left key of your keyboard, ESC, and you'll use that when you're using Kodu as well. Once you get here, you can go ahead and click cancel every time. And today we are starting a new world, so click New World. Now, we'll get into more about terrain building as you do more of these, but your terrain tool is right down here with the paintbrush. The basics are, if you use your regular left mouse button, you can create terrain very easily. If you use your right mouse button, you can take terrain away very easily. If you come up to this submenu over here, you can choose from different types of colored terrain. So if you choose something that you like, you can click on that, and now you're painting with that different color. Again, you also have this submenu where you can choose different types of brushes, but you can get into that another day. You do need some sort of terrain. It doesn't have to be a ton of it, but you need some space for your characters to run around on and for you to create some different objects for them to collect. So once you've got your terrain, now you're ready to create those objects. So you're going to need to come to this object tool here that looks like Kodu. When you're on the object tool, then you just need to click where you want to place an object. So click on your terrain somewhere, and we'll all start by placing a Kodu. You'll have other objects and different characters for different games, but now we'll just start with Kodu. If you hover over a character and use your arrow keys, you can change its color, kind of like the way the red looks on that blue background. And now I'm ready to code it to move. So if I hover over it again while I'm in the Object Tool menu, hover over, right-click, go to Program. Now this is like a little sentence. When I use my keyboard keys, and which keys? I use my arrow keys. So when I use my keyboard arrow keys, what do I want it to do? I want it to move. I can escape out and test that. Click the play button to try it, and sure enough, when I use my arrow keys on my keyboard, I'm moving my Kodu. Not a game yet, but at least I'm moving. I can escape out. And now I'm ready to place some objects for Kodu to pick up. So again, I go to my object menu, and if you just click somewhere on the space, you can place, I like apples because they're right here on the menu, and you can place some apples very quickly and easily. If you place too many or you want to get rid of one for some reason, you can hover over an object, do a right click, and you can do cut to get rid of an object. And also if you hover over, you can use the arrows to change its color, which is kind of nice. Sometimes you want to change its color just for the type of background, or you could have different colored objects be different point values or something like that for a game. So I've got some apples out here, but now I need to code some actual game to it. I want some points for collecting things. So I'm still in my object tool. I'm going to go back into programming with a right click and program. And I'm going to say when I bump into under objects, I can choose apple. So when I bump an apple, I want to do, under game, I can choose score. And I want it to score, and you have to choose a color. It doesn't matter. I'll choose black. I'll choose black to score, and under points, I'll give them 10 points per apple. Escape out to test it. Click the play. Again, I get the arrows, and hopefully, when I bump an apple, I'll get 10 points. You can see a problem to my coding so far. I'm bumping that apple, but I'm just sitting on that apple and getting a really high score, but I'm not really doing anything, which isn't really a very fun game to play. So I'm going to escape back out, and I'm going to code again under the object menu, right-click, program, and I'm going to also code for bumping an apple. So also when I bump an apple, I also want it to, under combat, I can choose vanish. And what do I want to vanish? Not me, but I want it to vanish it, the apple. So I'll bump an apple and get 10 points, and I'll also bump an apple and vanish it. Test this one out. Away I go. Hopefully I get 10 points. Alright, and I can just move on to my next apple. And I've got my 30 points, but the game doesn't end. So that's the last little bit of coding I need to do. I'll go back into Object, right-click, Program, and I'm going to say when, under C, I'm going to choose apples again. So when I see, when I make a mistake, you can do a right-click on one of these, and you can cut a tile. When I see, and I want to say actually see not. I know it's kind of weird, but I want to see no apples. Okay, so when I see not any apples, or I don't see any apples, then I want the game to win. So now I should be able to do my final testing. Get my 10 points. 20. And win the game. So those are the big coding parts that you definitely need. I will suggest you think about trying maybe different objects for different point values. If you've got time, you can also play with negative objects, or if you hit something, it takes away points. And one other last thing, you'll learn more about this, but if you're under the object tool again and you do a right click on your character, not under programming, but you can also play with changing these settings. And like I said, you'll learn more about this in other tutorials, but you actually have quite a bit of control over how fast they go, how fast they turn, and many other things. So something you can certainly start to play with, and you'll be learning more as you create your new games and choose different types of games that you'll be creating very soon. If I escape out, the last thing you need to remember is to save your game. So to save your game, go to that home for the home menu. Make sure you click Save My World. You can change its name if you want to, but what's most important is you click Save, and you click Save one more time. Then it's saved, you'll be able to come back to it, you won't lose your work, and you'll be able to pick it up where you left off last time. Have a great day making awesome collector games.